One today. It is great to be here. It's been a while, I know. Every time I say I'm going to be consistent, more consistent, and show up more often, um, something big happens. So this past week, I had a very sick dog. In some of my recordings, you guys could hear her breathing very heavily, and she had an enlarged stomach, and it was like that for a few days. And I tried to use my homeopathic methods to make it better, and it did start to get better. Her stools were lightening up a little bit, and uh, it just it didn't last long, and she started to get worse again, and I ended up having to take her Tuesday to a vet, an animal hospital, and they euthanized her, and it was pretty sad. And funny thing is I'm kind of like a realist most of the time, but I also have this connection to emotions, that empathic connection to humans. And like, I'll be driving the car, if I see an animal that was run over, it's like, oh, poor baby, and I'll say a little prayer. um, so I didn't expect it to be so difficult, and I don't know why. I mean, I had her for over 8 years, and she was my, crazy as it sounds, she was my little partner, you know. And my world, I didn't realize how much my world revolved around her. It's like I would need to get home, because, she'd been alone all day, and I would have to get home to let her out, and I'd have to, get her dinner ready, and just everything like revolved around her. Cleaning her linens every week. I would have a big washer of her linens because she had so many linens. Um, and it was like, and then at nighttime, it's like she had her 2/3 of the bed, not half, 2/3, and still was on my side. And it's just really weird because she always had her blanket on top of my blanket, and my bed doesn't have a blanket on it anymore, and it's like, just looks weird. It looks really weird. So I cried. Um, I heavily cried for 2 days. And my neighbor, the beautiful soul that both of them are, him and her, um, and this, they've been with me for days. They've been consoling me. Well, he couldn't let her just get buried, and I couldn't afford to cremate her, so I brought her home, and he made a casket for her. And this man just had surgery on both of his knees, and he dug a hole, using a backhoe, but then he had to also shovel, and the box was heavy. It had to be over 100 pounds, and we buried her, and it was just so beautiful. And I want to give a shout out to the veterinarian hospital, because I called them out of the blue, so they took me in, like, basically right off the street. I had never been to them before, and I was a mess, and they knew it. And I couldn't even get her inside. They had to come out and put her on a gurney because she was in so much pain, and and she couldn't walk. So we brought her in, and they saw her condition, and they suggested, to let her go. And I was having a really difficult time with that. And other people had suggested to let her go in different ways that wasn't so, it wasn't as humane. And it was like, no, I can't do that. And so they offered to give her a free ultrasound just so that they could make sure that it was pretty likely that she wasn't going to last long, even if I did give her surgery. So they gave her an ultrasound and they saw that her belly was full of fluid, but also she had a tumor on her heart. And that even if surgery was done, she probably wouldn't last long. So I was able to make the decision with more ease. And I spent, the next, I mean, it was about a 2 hour appointment. And she was on the gurney, strapped down on the gurney, and just trying to rest as comfortably as possible. And all this dog ever wanted was to be loved, to be petted, to be, just, and to love you. That's it. That's all she wanted. She never barked. She barked at weird things like fans, um, strange noises. She got scared with thunder, but never barked at anybody or anything. And the sweetest, sweetest girl. Her name was Sienna, and I called her Sienna because she was reddish brown. And so they gave her, the sleeping medication to help to have her relax and fall asleep. And that whole time, all I did was pet her. And when she was a puppy, I still would do that as she was older, but not as much. But when she was a puppy, I just would rub her ears because they were so soft. And I would rub both of her ears constantly when she was a puppy, and she would just sit there, and that's what I would do. And that's what I did for like the next half hour as she was falling asleep. And then once they gave her the shot, it was instant. And yeah, so that's been my past week, and that's why I haven't been on anything. I did do my sacred text talk on Sunday, and I got through that. But then by Tuesday, I was a complete mess. So with that, I wanted to share because it mean to be missing in action, MIA. But sometimes it happens. Life happens. And again, I'm still like experiencing the weird little things. I was driving yesterday and I'm driving behind this car. The name of the car is Sienna. And it's like, okay, she's just letting me know that she's still with me. And don't think for a second that our animals aren't with us. My grandkids' dog was put to sleep when they came down to visit me a couple years ago, and that dog's spirit was with them. And when my mentor, the reverend from my chapel, was sitting with them, talking with them, the dog came through, and it was just so beautiful because she was able to help them grieve. So with that, I decided to go a little bit of a different route today, and I let God choose the intention today, and this is going to be kind of the prayer that we open up with. It's Psalm 117. And Psalm 117, when I opened the book, that was the one that just jumped out at me. So, and I did the same as I do with my decks. I tap it and say, Spirit, please open the book. So, Psalm 117, praise the Lord, all ye nations, praise him, all ye people. For the merciful kindness is great toward us, and the truth of the Lord endureth forever. And the other thing that I pulled up, or I opened with, where'd it go? Oh, I'm sorry, is angel number, let me get it. I had it on here and then the screen left. So it's angel number 511. So these are our intentions for the reading. Your determination to be a light to the world is making a difference in the hearts of those who need it most. Keep up the good work. So all my light beings out there, all my empaths, all my spiritual good doers. That's your message today. Uh, Angel number 511, and that is from Gary. God, my brain's just it's still not working well. Oh, sorry, Kyle Gray, his Angel Numbers book, and of course Psalm 117 is from the King James version. So with that, as I was shuffling my deck, my yeah, my light seers deck. Oh man, just like totally blank. Um, three cards popped out, and I guess they were kind of perfect. Uh, so our present our present card is the Nine of Cups. I'm gonna do a reading build on these. So the Nine of Cups. So presently, anyone on this earth has the ability to create their own abundance. And the Nine of Cups. This is about nines are completion. The gold is your solar plexus. So we're talking about your emotions, your powerhouse, your ability to make things happen. Uh, and if you notice in this card, we have a box of just treasures. And they could be memories, they could be career, they could be financial, they could be family. Abundance comes in so ready at your I want to say your footprints because she's kind of jumping up, not at her fingertips, but she has the bowls that are full, the nine bowls, the nine cups that are full of abundance at her fingertips, and underneath her at her at her footsteps, at her foundation, she has the treasure trove of abundance. So you may be at a place in your life where you're not seeing, and look at the rays from like the sun coming through there, the beautiful, beautiful rays, which is sun energy, masculine energy, and again, the last time I did a reading, this card was in, and this almost looks like two spiritual fingers. I said the last time it reminds me of E.T. when E.T. touched the boy. I forget the boy's name, and the energy they connected, and it's full of life. It's full of treasures, treasures that aren't necessarily money, um, but they're treasures. And if you have those treasures, seek them, find them, and know their worth. So that's the present message. The past, the recent past, we have the Knight of Swords here. If you notice his soul is red, that's foundation. And the foundation is where we either have courage or fear, faith or disbelief. And so he's running away from, and I want to say, wow, I want to say he's running away from the devil or the dark energies. His face, he's hidden, but he's running away from the energies that were keeping him from this space, this place in life. And I want to also add that, this is also about love, the abundance of the greatest weapon against the enemy, the dark energies. And we have we have a blue sky here, but there's a little bit of grayness there. So there's clarity of knowing what you want to run away from, but there's still a little uncertainty about what you're running to. And that hasn't been revealed yet. But the fact that fear drove you away, okay? Fear has driven you to the place where you're going to jump on that motorcycle. But courage made you move toward the motorcycle. And again, I've explained the symbolism for horses and motorcycles in my when I was learning to become an energy healer. I was told that take take things like butterflies and fairies, anything that you see in life, and connect it to something. So horses are a a path to freedom that's a little more graceful and smooth. It just is like a natural place to find that peace and tranquility, and to move on. A motorcycle, to me, this is just my view, my symbolism to the motorcycle. A motorcycle is more of a wild, I got to get out of here freedom, and it still gets you to a better place. It's just the the state of mind when you're hopping on the motorcycle compared to when you're hopping on the horse. And it's, again, this is my symbolism to these two things that are in the tarot decks a lot. So to me, this card is saying, what I feel from this card is this person definitely had a lot of fear going on with things in their immediate circle or field. They decided to get the hell out of Dodge, and they jumped on this motorcycle, and this motorcycle is going to bring them to the freedom that is is there. They know there's freedom. They're not sure what it looks like. They're not sure what it's going to feel like, but they know it's there, and they know it's better than they were. And that's what brought you to this present. And this present may not be with you yet, but it's coming. Or it is there, or you are there, and you just haven't realized it yet, or you've already realized that you've already found it. So the near future, and this is the warning here. This is card. So the Knight of Swords is number 12, 9, and we have number 15, and it is the devil. Okay, this is Capricorn energy, and this is the near future. And this does not mean that the devil's going to get you. All this means is that the devil will continue to tempt you. The devil is going to uh, uh, continue to continue to be your puppeteer. Okay, I know there's a lot of information online right now about handlers and things. Handlers are kind of like puppeteers. Okay, and when I'm not going to get into any of that stuff, but that's the idea of a puppeteer. And a lot of people are puppets, and they don't even realize it. By falling into certain mindsets, about this one or this belief or that belief. When we fall into those mindsets and start fighting against each other, that's the puppeteers. That's the puppeteer, um, trying to control, trying to control you, trying to control your environment, and that puppeteer gets to us through many different um, entities. So all this card is saying is, yes, you have this abundance. Hang on to it, and don't allow anything or anyone to disrupt your peace of mind, to take away your abundance. Um, this is the devil is all about temptation, and we all have dark and light. We all get tempted. We all, want the easier, softer way. Trust me, I had a life of not so pretty, um, for long enough to make me realize that I don't want to be a puppet to anything. And I was a puppet to a lifestyle that just wanted to destroy me. And I no longer take part in that lifestyle. And I choose. And the great thing, there's a lot of stuff about, I just hear so much stuff, and I get fed so much information. And sometimes I don't want it, but I get it anyway. And I have to, like, not be afraid of it. And I have to know that, um, God's putting this information in my life for a reason. And I need to use this information to better myself and the ones around me. And that's the whole purpose of my ministry. It's not to preach, it's not to say, if you do this, you're going to go to hell. I don't believe in that type of philosophy. Um, my purpose is to help people to know their truth and to go within and to find themselves through God consciousness, through Christ consciousness, and not through any of the information that's out there. So, this devil card, it's always lurking, okay? It's always going to be lurking in our futures. It's always going to be trying to find a way to get in and grab you or pull your strings to make you behave and act a certain way. And you just have to be conscious of that. You have to be aware of that. And you have to know when to get the hell out of there and jump on that bike and say, take me away. Um, get me out of here, bring me to a safe place. So let's pull some other cards here. I'm kind of having a little bit of a hard time with messaging today. Still have a lot of emotions that are bouncing all around, and a lot of information I have with this reading that's like, it's in here, and I don't really believe it should be coming out in this format right now. But if anyone wants to know more, please message me. Find me on School, and yeah, we can have a deeper dive in everything I was saying. So we're going to do we're going to do cards that are I'm going to do 3 cards for each one of these. The Nine of Cups, um, our strength, power. So we have the Nine of Cups. We have the Ten of Pentacles. So, 10 of Pentacles, again, is about abundance. Um, Cups is the fulfillment of emotions. And Pentacles is the fulfillment of the completion and fulfillment of needs, like abundance in more of a material way. Um, Pentacles are an earth element, so that's like the material. And with this card, I mean, you've got this older person here, and they're kind of like looking back on their road, on their journey. And the journey, I feel like this card is your strength is in not so much the material things. Like, how do I word this? It's the strength is in the love, the love that you put forth on this earth, the light, the light that you show to others, and the love that light gives. And we have the lighthouse in the back, and the symbolism for lighthouse to me is that guiding light. When ships are out on sea, it's the lighthouse that brings them in safely. We all have our own light, and our light can either get dimmed by choices we make, or it can shine very brightly. And when our light's shining brightly, that's when not only are we serving ourselves, but we are serving all of humanity, especially the ones directly around us. So, this is your strength. Be your light. Be your light and guide, not only guide yourself, but use that light to guide others. So, that's one strength. The strength for the Knight of Swords. So, this is the guy saw some things to be afraid of, and um, the courage to get the heck out of there. What is the strength for this card? Uh, this is beautiful. It's absolutely perfect. Once you get on that motorcycle, once you got on that motorcycle, make sure the Ace of Pentacles is all about planting your roots someplace new. It's new doors opening for you. And when you open those new doors, make sure that what you plant is going to be healthy. The soil will be healthy. The environment around it will be healthy. Make sure it has everything it needs to grow into this beautiful flower. So the strength there is finding finding the beauty and the love that's going to make you grow into all that you can be. That's the strength for that Knight of Swords hopping on the motorcycle. And the Devil. Um, okay, we have the Knight of Cups here, and this is the strength for the Devil. So I look at this picture, and it's like, this is a powerful picture for the Devil. Um, the Devil is going to bring temptation. The Devil is going to try to get you to walk through doors that you don't need to go down. Um, but the Knight of Cups, if you see, look at this card, it's like checkmate. The Knight of Cups, and I don't really know, I don't know chess, and I'm not going to pretend I do. Maybe someday someone will teach me chess. Maybe my grandson will. But I know checkmate is a big thing, and when you go checkmate, that's it. I think game's over. I'm not sure, uh, but the Knight of Cups, this your strength card for dealing with these temptations that the devil's going to keep trying to um, throw on you is your Knight of Cups. Playing your game, playing that chess game with accuracy. And not only playing it with accuracy, but when you place your men, you will be putting the devil in checkmate. Wow, that's okay. Very, very interesting reading, especially with a lot of things I've been going through and learning about. And oof. All right, powerful, very, very powerful. All right, so now the things to look out for. So we have our Nine of Cups, our Ten of Pentacles. What is it that this card needs to beware of? Um, what's going to be the obstacle? What's going to get in the way of getting to and keeping your Nine of Cups? Here we go. Oops, wrong way. Okay. Oh man, I'm getting indigestion. All right, messages are heavy duty today. Here we go. I'm gonna share a story about my dog afterwards. What I was going through when she was really sick. Uh, the Five of Wands. This is an obstacle, okay, and this is where you can be or are right now, and the obstacle, you've got a lot of different energies trying to pull you away from this treasure, this beautiful treasure that you've worked so hard for. The nines are about completion. The cups are about emotions. I'm going to say emotions are about love and the beauty of love and the power of love. What's going to keep you, what's going to be the obstacle for that are a lot of these different energies that are going to try to pull you down from getting there, pull you down from receiving and being that light of the world. And yeah, you see all these hands, and if you notice, the hands are of all different. Of course, they're all different colors, but that tells me it's all different energies. It's not just one type of person or thing that's getting in your way. It's a lot of different energies from different places that are going to just pull you down, keep trying to pull you down, or keep you where they're comfortable to have you. And if you notice at the top of this is like this beautiful light. Um, and each wand has a crystal, but the biggest crystal is the one on the top. And I'm going to say that whoever's listening, it's your crystal, it's your wand. And all I can say is don't let these entities get in the way of you getting to the beautiful places that spirit has for you. Beware of the energies of others, other people and things. You know, sometimes success can be an obstacle. Money can be an obstacle. So it's not necessarily always people. It's things too that become obstacles for us. All right, the obstacle for our motorcycle guy and the Ace of Pentacles. Oh, wands again. Seven of wands. Not knowing your power. That's what I'm getting from this card. Not knowing the power you truly have to get on that motorcycle. I can't pick these up. To get on your motorcycle, to ride free. Again, even though you're not fully clear because there's some gray in these clouds, you're clear that you need to get the hell away from whatever that is that has brought you concern. The Ace of Pentacles. You have you have the power, you have the ability to knock whatever it is that's trying to get in your way, and you're not always aware of that power of what you can do. And not only what you can do, but sometimes it's what you don't need to do in order to get to where you truly want to be. Um, Sometimes it's just letting God do God's work and not fight the fight, um, walk away from it. But again, that's, everyone's situation is going to be a little bit different. These cards, the fact that she's wearing that purple connection to source. Stay connected to source, and as long as you're staying connected to source, I mean good source, uh, not this source. This is a source too, but stay connected to source, and source will show you the power you truly have. And it's not always physical power. Sometimes it's emotional power. Sometimes it's intuitive power. The power is always going to change, and source will show you that power. And the obstacle here is that you're not relying on source. When you don't rely on source to show you the path and show you the way, sometimes that will create more of a problem. Oh, gosh. All right, so now the devil obstacle. Oh, this makes so much sense. A lot of purple in here and also a lot of indigo. So we have third eye and crown chakra. A lot of it. These flowers, they come out here in the springtime. They're all around on the trees, and they're so beautiful. I think they're wisteria. I'm not sure. I'm not positive, but they're really really pretty. And they're a purple. They're a pretty purple. So this is the Hanged Man, and how the Hanged Man can be an obstacle for you is sometimes when we have our, I'm going to call them handlers, even though they may not be official handlers like everyone's talking on. Um, Sometimes when we have those puppeteers trying to control us, we are taught to think a certain way in our lives, whether it's about success, whether it's about family, whether it's about marriage, whether it's about religion, politics. We're always taught to think a certain way. And we grow up with that vision. And a lot of times it becomes tunnel vision. And in that tunnel vision, a lot of times that's an obstacle. And we can't we can't think of a different way to avoid the temptations, avoid, being the puppet. And we will fall into that same trap over and over, whether it's with diff people. I mean, I know for me, my downfall is people, and I get myself in trouble all the time with trusting the wrong people, and I get hurt, and then I just want to go run and hide. And so I need to look at things in a different way. And it was suggested to me that I have to not be so willing to trust people, not be so willing to instantly, you know, be my friend, and, take a little more caution to sit back and just watch, observe, and don't put so much into certain relationships until you truly have an idea of what's going on. Well, that's not so much the devil. That's like perception. That's like, but it's also, it is, being a puppet on a string from certain behaviors. And those behaviors, when they cause hurt and pain, they create a certain mindset within me where I'm acting a certain way and behaving a certain way, which is that lower energy. And it keeps me from doing my divine purpose. So it is the dark energy. Whatever brings us to be puppets on a string, that is the dark energy. And whether it's addictions, it doesn't matter. Food, it's you know, some people, it's like falling in and out of love constantly. Whatever it might be money, it could be so many things that we get controlled by. Having beautiful things, having, you know, nice clothes, always looking good on the outside. Those are all the devil's way of keeping you from your true self, who you really are. And the hangman being an obstacle, it's like it's saying, what I'm feeling is that this is saying, stop looking at things the same way. Look at everything in your life in a different way. Turn yourself upside down so that you can see it differently. Because I'm getting the what's the thing about the book? Um, don't judge a book by its cover. And that's basically what the hangman's all about. So stop judging things by how they look and trust what your inner soul, your inner heart is telling you. And that's what the hangman can do for you. It is an obstacle if you don't choose to look at things from a different perspective. So with that, oh, this is a heavy reading today, boy. All right, we're going to do Archangel Michael because I think I need some healing from Archangel Michael right now. And let's see what dear Archangel Michael has to say to us. How can we praise the Lord, all ye nations, praise him, all ye people? For the merciful kindness is great toward us, and the truth of the Lord endureth forever. And the angel number 511, keeping up the good work, being the light. Isn't that funny that we have being the light? We had that one with the lighthouse. Yep, let's continue to be the light. We have to be a light. And if our light isn't shining enough, get a stronger watt, you know, because we are the ones that are going to save this universe from the demon energies that are out there, and they are out there. All right, here we go. We have number 11. There we go. And we had 511, and we have 11 7, 117. So what are the numbers we have here? We got 12. We uh, we have 12 again. We have 3 12s here. 12, 12, 12. So embrace this magical moment. Kind of, it feels like I get the feeling of like a time machine. And when I think of time machines, I think of different different realities that we have lived because our souls go on, and our souls choose to go into other bodies at different times, um, in different realms, in different dimensions. So our souls never die; they continue on, and so the time machine with this card, I feel like it's a replica of kind of like a time machine. And I don't think of a time machine as going in and go. I feel like it's when our souls just continue to live in different. Does that mean we can visit them? Yeah, they say we can. I do believe that we can. I don't know if I ever have or not because if I have, I haven't recalled it. I have had visions that seemed a little from a different, like a different space and time, but I don't know if I visited another dimension. So embrace this magical moment, and we have to look at this life experience as a magical moment. You are in the perfect energetic space for manifesting miracles. Allow your wishes to be fulfilled. That's beautiful. I guess I'll read out of the book. And number 11, we have embrace this magical moment. There are times in every soul's human experience when the perfect energy comes together for all your dreams to come true. You can call it the stars aligning or having a run of good luck. But however you phrase it, the result is the same. It's pure magic. The truth is, this kind of energy is always available to you. You just aren't aware of how to tap into it. But occasionally, you accidentally shift into the space of manifesting what you truly want. And then there's no stopping you. Nothing can hold you back from the magical life you deserve. I wish I could tell you that this will last forever, but that's not usually the case in the human experience. So here's my advice. Take advantage of this moment, ride the wave, don't question how and why things are happening. Just to allow it all to unfold. Make as many wishes as you can and keep up the faith around each one. Because in the end, that's what this is all about, faith. Now go, 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 go make magic. That's all right. Now I'm going to do the soul truth. Actually, I'll do an angel number first, and then the soul truth, because the soul truth always has a like a little journal prompt for you. So this is from my sigil deck that I created. And we have angel numbers and affirmations. Number 7, I will not settle for anything less than I deserve. So this is the sigil for that affirmation. Our angel number is 7, and I will read that now. So do not settle for anything less than you deserve. That's, the energy of magic is surrounding you. Align your thoughts with the highest. I will not settle for anything less than I deserve. When you set your goals and expectations to meet your true belief in yourself, you will find that your energy will work like magic. That magic will be ingested into your inner self and projected to your spirit guides. Once you work with the universe, the possibilities are endless, and what you acquire will be exactly what you put out into the universe, and the universe will provide you with what you deserve. So, let me finish this one, and then I'll tell you the story about what was going on with me when my pup was sick, and it's got to do with what I was feeling while I was doing this reading. And if this stuff happens to you, trust that spirit's like letting you know. They're either validating what you're going through, or all right. Here's the question: how can I deepen my trust right now? Trust, surrender, let go of the wheel. You can trust. You can trust yourself. Trust fully in yourself so that you can deepen your trust in others. Trust creates safety, and when we feel safe, we feel unstoppable. Today's soul action: let go and trust. Today, find your center in the chaos and be certain with yourself so you can deepen your trust in others. Wow. What a beautiful way to end this. So, as I was doing this reading, I was I was getting indigestion and feeling very uncomfortable um, telling the message because the message was so powerful, and I was also connecting to the message that was being sent out. So that happens to me a lot. I get these feelings, and I never realized in the past how it was connected to my healing energy and my spirituality. Um, and when my dog was not feeling well, and her stomach was like kind of exploding, like for the whole time she was sick, my stomach was like a knot, and everything I ate and drank was going right through me. And I actually stopped drinking coffee during this time because I thought it was the coffee. And it might be the coffee, I don't know. But for the whole time, that's how I was feeling. And when I got her to the vet, once I brought her into the vet and she was on the gurney in the office, all those symptoms were gone. I didn't feel so uncomfortable anymore, and I wasn't in pain. I didn't feel like I was, it just was like I felt normal. There's still things that don't agree with me, but it wasn't like it was when she was sick. And it was just so weird because I realized it's like, wow, it went away. And that's like, to me, that's like really powerful that not only do and I have had that experience with humans also. Um, but to have that experience with an animal, it's like, it's powerful. Um, so the more we connect to our true selves, the more we connect to humanity in the universe and all of God's creations, and the more that we can do God's work. So, for me, that's what this is all about, is being able to share my experience, strength, and hope so that others out there may also know that when they go within, the power that they have to fight against the dim, the dark energy. Probably should watch what I say on here, but if they ban me, they ban me. Anyway, with that, I really appreciate you all being here, and thank you for bearing with my emotions today. And I don't want to say it because I fail at it so often. I am going to try really hard to be more consistent with my videos. I just, I try to do at least two readings. I like to do more, but I try to do at least two readings a week, and then my scripture talk. Um, if I can do more readings, that's wonderful. And who knows, maybe now I'll be able to. I don't know. But with that, I just want you all to have a very blessed and wonderful day, and take the time to love yourself enough to go within and know God's message for you. Bye bye.